See the first question. Troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines the weather process. How? So I think it's a fairly simple question. Though a good question, it's a simple question. We all know what is the importance of troposphere. Okay, they are asking you same, what is the importance of troposphere and how does that determine the weather process? Okay, take 5 minutes time. Yeah, Rajni. Yeah, good, very good point. So basically the framework for this answer would be you introduce, okay, in the body you write some of the important features of troposphere. Why? Because it's a 250 word answer. If it's a 150 word answer, the features are not required for 150 but required for 250. Okay, in body you'll draw the diagram of various layers of earth, various layers, and mark the ending of troposphere, which is called tropopause, and the starting of stratosphere. Then you'll write the features and you'll write the impact of troposphere on weather process. And finally you'll conclude by knowing the importance of troposphere. Is the framework clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So see, for every question, when you see, now that I am writing this, okay, but whenever you see the question, this should happen in your mind, and that too within maximum 30 seconds. The moment you get this framework in 30 seconds, then you will start writing meaningful answers without losing the focus on the core demand of the question. We have always said that we should address the core demand of the question. So here features is not the core demand, but we are just including it because it's a 250 word. If it's a 150 word, what I'll do, the same features, I'll simply write a diagram like this: features 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even in a 150 word answer, I can accommodate features by intelligently using the diagrams. But here I'll try to take more of features also into picture because it's a bigger essay type answer. So the question is the importance of troposphere in determining the weather process. Troposphere in determining the weather process. Okay, so basically in the introduction you'll write it is the starting layer of atmosphere from Earth. So if you take Earth as reference, the starting layer is troposphere, and it is spread up to around 25 kilometers, from Earth's surface. From there, stratosphere starts. Okay, so around 20, you can say maximum 20, not beyond 20. Okay, from 20 to 50, it is again stratosphere. So and then in the body, you will come and write. You can write about the troposphere. In fact, you should first draw the diagram. Okay, you can take the rightmost column and draw the diagram like this: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, ionosphere. So this will be your troposphere, and you can say this is tropopause. This is tropopause, and you can say stratosphere, and you can say this is 0 and 20 kilometers and 50 kilometers. You can further say jet fly at around 50 kilometers area, then mesosphere, and then thermosphere, and finally ionosphere or exosphere. Okay, so this is how the various layers of Earth are arranged. Draw that diagram. Okay, and then here you can write the troposphere varies from equator to poles. So basically at equator, the troposphere is having a lot of length. So it is around 20 km at equator. while at poles it is around 7 to 8 km. Okay, so coming to the features of troposphere. What are the various features of troposphere? So basically, most of the atmospheric gases, are present in troposphere. Okay, and what is the, yesterday we have seen one feature of troposphere. As the height increases, temperature decreases in troposphere. And there is a certain degree, around 6 degrees Celsius, it decreases, okay, for every kilometer. And this particular phenomena is called normal lapse rate. So how much it decreases? This is the average. Okay, this is not accurate. This is average. You have to inform the examiner that this is the average. And also it is important because it contains most of the atmospheric water vapor. Most of the atmospheric water vapor is in troposphere. Okay, and then these are the important features of the troposphere, and you can say has immediate impact on local weather. So local weather is impacted by troposphere. Please remember that. And now coming to the main part of the question, that is significance in determining weather process. So this is the main part of the question. So what is the significance of troposphere in determining the main part of weather process? So what role does it play? So when you say that it has more than, most of the atmospheric gases are present, it is responsible for respiration because enough gases supply is maintained, and other processes like photosynthesis, etc., are facilitated by troposphere. Though it is not directly related to weather, but you can just mention it. So what is that? The average temperature of the area is influenced by troposphere, and it is responsible for determining the heat balance of the earth, because the sun's rays or sun's light, it is popularly called as insolation, it is coming and hitting the troposphere. And then since the cloud formation happens at troposphere, it determines two things. One is the rainfall, average rainfall, and another, the radiation absorbed. What is the radiation absorbed? Long wave radiation. Short wave radiation is absorbed by earth. Long wave radiation is reflected back by the earth. So clouds absorb this long wave radiation, okay, and then presence of greenhouse gases also increases the capacity of taking the long wave radiations, and hence it directly influences the local weather, and that is one of the important things. And also it determines the air masses, air currents, and at equator it influences the convective form of rainfall. At equator, especially at equator, it influences the convective form of rainfall. Okay, so all these are the significance of troposphere in determining the weather process. In the conclusion you write, hence it can be seen that troposphere is a very important layer of earth and plays crucial role in determining the weather patterns of various areas. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Two people have written. Huh? Okay. Good. Good. Contains 80% of atmospheric masses. Yes. Yes. Good. Good answer. See the second question. With growing scarcity of fossil fuels, the atomic energy is gaining more and more significance in India. Discuss the availability of raw materials required for generation of atomic energy in India and in the world. So they are asking you two important aspects. Okay. Discuss the availability of raw materials in India as well as the world. So you have to inform the examiner where is the availability of raw materials. Clear? Yeah. So 200 word. How many words? 200 words. So previously it was 12.5 marker. Okay. So consider it as 250 words. Okay. Three-stage nuclear plant not required because it is not the core demand of the question, Rajni. Okay. Unnecessarily you will be losing some space. The main focus should be on this part which you have written. Distribution of raw materials in India and around the world. Yeah. Fine. So the framework for this question will be with growing scarcity of fossil fuels, the atomic energy is gaining more and more significance in India. Discuss the availability of raw materials required for generation of atomic energy in India and the world. Okay, so maybe that's why you have tried to write three stage, because you are saying for three stages there are different raw materials required. Was it your intention?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can touch upon that, but need not go. I mean, I've not seen your answer, but if you have gone into depth, it is not required. Okay, so yeah. So the introduction will be, okay, the introduction will be to explain. So the statement says the growing scarcity of fossil fuels, the atomic energy is gaining more and more significance. But it's not only the scarcity of fossil fuels, right? You can say in the introduction, see, in such questions, you can take a stand. You can look like an environmentalist and try to justify your stand, or maybe you can look like a typical scientist who is trying to augment more power to India. That also you can do. So what I mean by environmentalist is, environmentalists sometimes they do not support even the atomic energy because of the nuclear waste. So if I were to write this answer, I would take a balanced stand. Balanced stand in the sense, at least in the mains, always try to thread this path of balance. So I'll just tell you, as we discuss the answer in this course, I'll tell you how to balance this answer. So first is introduction. You can say it's not only the fossil fuel scarcity, but also the pollution caused by the fossil fuels. So this dimension you bring into the answer, which is causing the greenhouse effect and causing the global warming. All these are serious issues, and the need of the hour is to look out for alternate energy resources. As of now, nuclear promises to be one. That can be your introduction. So you are beautifully bringing the examiner to the point that yes, I am talking about atomic energy. Then coming to the body. So you just say atomic generation. Okay, what are the various raw materials? We all know uranium 235, uranium 238, plutonium, and then sometimes thorium. From thorium, we are extracting plutonium. So all these are the important raw materials. And then you will say, you'll then straight away talk about the locations. So where is the availability? You'll talk about the availability, and then finally talk about the pros and cons in one single place, and then conclude. Is the framework clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes.
now let's go to the how we have to answer this. So introduction I have very clearly told you. So basically the question is growing scarcity, availability of raw materials for atomic energy. Okay, so here introduction I have told you, you talk about fossils. They are not only getting scarce but also polluting, and then you find what is the need for, and all this will be need for alternative fuels, which nuclear is as of now promising. Nuclear or atomic is same, don't get confused. So then coming to the body, first you will say what are the raw materials required. So here you will have uranium 235, uranium 238. These are all isotopes, plutonium, thorium. These are the atomic energy minerals required in generation of atomic energy, which operates through nuclear fission, not fusion. It is called nuclear fission. That is 1:3. Okay. Then you write raw materials required for atomic energy. First, Indian context. Okay. First is the Indian context. Okay. Basically, in the Indian context, you will write. So basic uranium and thorium reserves. Okay. They are available in, sorry, not thorium. Thorium, we all know, for thorium, there is a ore called monazite. And this monazite is available in plenty in Kerala beach sand. In Kerala beach sand, monazite is available in plenty. So from monazite, they are coming with thorium, and from thorium, they'll get this uranium. Okay, so for uranium deposits, we have a place called Singhbhum in, and also another place called Hazaribagh. Both these places in Jharkhand. And you can say in India, there is a PSU called Uranium Corporation of India, which operates under Government of India. And also there are places like Gaya in Bihar, okay, and Saharanpur in UP, where uranium mines are found. Okay, we have already spoken about the monazite, and also we have uranium in Rajasthan, especially in Udaipur. Okay, so all these are the important parts or important aspects where you are finding the uranium. So just draw the India map. So this is how much time I take for India map, and this is reasonable. Okay, so just, and then yeah, recently in Amrabad Tiger Reserves in Telangana, in Kadapa belt of AP, you have uranium reserves. Okay, so these are uranium reserves. So whatever places you have mentioned, like Jharkhand, okay, Jharkhand, then Bihar and Jharkhand area, Telangana, AP, Rajasthan, all these you mark and then write figure 1. And then the next side heading will be uranium reserves across the world. So world, obviously everyone knows that Australia is the biggest producer of uranium. It has a lot of uranium reserves, and it is the pioneer in uranium mining. Okay, so Australia is the pioneer. Apart from that, Central Asian countries like Kazakhstan. This is a factual question, so you have to remember this. There is no other alternative. Canada is there. Okay, and then in Africa, there is Namibia. Okay, Canada is again having a lot of resources. Namibia. Okay, so these are important places where uranium is found across the world. And then you say pros of your atomic energy. What are pros? More output for less fuel, relatively clean energy, less pollution, less water consumption. But what are the cons? Nuclear disasters, example Fukushima, radiations, and finally disposal of nuclear waste. And then you'll conclude saying that the nuclear energy, you just try to see the conclusion. The nuclear energy definitely seems to be an alternate to thermal energy in terms of benefits it offers. However, you see this, however, the global concerns after Fukushima disaster with regard to nuclear waste have not yet been completely addressed. The way forward is to answer such questions, take holistic view and implement the atomic energy. Anyone has a better conclusion, or are you fine with this?
This is holistic, sir.
So what we are trying to say here, you try to understand. We are not rejecting the nuclear energy. At the same time, we are saying nuclear energy looks to be good, but there are some doubts which no one is able to answer. So let's answer that and let's go forward. Clear?
Yes, sir.
If the same question is asked in your interview, what will you say? Shanta Prasad, what will you say if the same question is asked in your interview?
Your conclusion is enough, sir.
In interview, if you write my conclusion, okay, for 275 you will get 125 marks. And I'm very sure in interview more than 70% of the people will say what I have written in the conclusion. In the interview, if you tell these kind of answers for all the questions, you will be awarded whatever is the lowest mark on that day. You will get that 130, 140 types you will get. Okay, I'm talking about UPSC interview. Rajni, what will be your answer for this question? If I am the panel and I'm asking you, what is your stand on nuclear energy, Rajni? What will you answer?
Sir, I would answer with definitely it is an alternate source of reliable and stable energy. But to make it more effective, we need to have the global efforts so that we can check out all the negative challenges part of it and make the optimum utilization.
So you have almost just rephrased my conclusion. Then my next
Sir,
question would be, since both of you are just trying to say the same answer, then as a examiner, I'll ask you, then why are developed countries like Germany and other European countries demolishing their nuclear reactors?
So in that case, maybe we can suggest for alternate ways of
No,
renewable
now you
resources.
have given an answer. You have given an answer, right, Shanta? So for that, my next question from interview panel will be, then why is Germany, who's the pioneer in nuclear energy, destroying all the nuclear reactors? And they have a very safe history of operation of nuclear reactors, but they have destroyed nuclear reactors, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then why? So these kind of questions will come when you take a balanced stand. Okay, when you try to be neither here nor there, the examiner can play with you. And having faced many such questions out of my experience, I can tell you that mains is a different thing. Interview is a different thing. Okay. In mains, you are not seeing the examiner. The examiner doesn't know you. Your emotions are not known. If you are faking or not is not known. Is it your true? You are not known. So always in mains, take a balanced path. For the same question, in mains, I'll write this conclusion. And in interview, I would say nuclear energy is absolutely not needed. Then what happens is the examiners will be Mahesh. Usage of nuclear plants is transition step. That is also not required, Mahesh. See, in the interview, I would say nuclear energy is not at all required. In fact, I said also in the UPSC interview. So the examiner was puzzled because a very similar question was asked to me. We are pursuing atomic plants, atomic energy. What is your stand? Luckily, both of my interviews, I got decent marks. I never got less than 150. Got always around 170, 180. But I'm just saying, how does it matter is, it shows your character. Interview is something which you should guide. You should be comfortable. And you should inform the examiner that you actually, these are my ethics, these are my principles. So in interview, when you say nuclear energy is not required, the examiner will be puzzled. What is this? The entire India is saying nuclear energy is good, the scientists are saying is there, NPCIL is there, so many things are there, but why this fellow is rejecting? Then you say, yes sir, because we are doing fairly good with regard to renewable energy. Okay, that was my answer. I said, we are doing very good with regard to renewable energy. We are already meeting the targets of what we have achieved for what we have kept for renewable energy. Solar, we are doing really good. With regard to wind, we are pursuing really very well. And we are already coming up with new technologies like hydrogen fuel and all. And even today, when India is having close to 370 gigawatts of energy installed capacity, okay, in that, what is the percentage nuclear is adding? Only 1%, 1 or 2 maximum. So even today, with so much energy demand, if we are able to meet with renewable, we have to aggressively pursue renewable and try to meet our the COP, what is it, COP 21 now? COP 21 targets of 2030. By 2030, we want to add 450 gigawatts of renewable energy. So we, instead of wasting our time on nuclear, so then the counter question comes. So you think nuclear is so not so clean, or it's like, I said, it's not that it is clean. Of course, it is looking clean, but no one has answered. What are the developing nations doing with regard to the nuclear waste? They are burying underneath the oceans. So for your sin, you are destroying the biodiversity of the oceans. Second thing, what is the average cycle time of a nuclear plant construction? No nuclear plant was ever constructed even before 7 to 8 years, or approximately 10 years for building one nuclear power plant. In 10 years, how many solar plants you are building? In 1 year, you can build at least 100 gigawatts of solar plant. So that is the way renewable and nuclear are differentiating themselves. So by looking at the macro level, I feel that nuclear is not so viable option in the present context. So this is the slight difference of approach you should have for mains and interview. Mains is a different ball game because you are not interacting with the examiner. This if I write in mains, amongst 10,000 answer scripts, my answer script may look slightly foolish. What is this fellow trying to say? He himself knows that so many things are happening. But if I use the same answer in interview, I look very matured and smart because I am trying to think from the environment perspective. In mains, if I go on writing this, my space is not enough. By the time I bring out the clarity to the examiner, that fellow may not understand what I am trying to say. But in interview, it is an opportunity for me to expose my character, my ethics, and my concern for environment. So that the same question, I'll use it in two ways in two different contexts. So this is the exam preparedness and exam awareness you should have as aspirant when you are trying to aim for that. Why people consistently score more in interviews? Because they try to engage the interviewers. And for every question, they'll try to use it an opportunity to tell about themselves and what is so special about them that they have to choose amongst so many equally talented aspirants. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree or not? At least for what I told, the difference of approach, do you agree? Or you have
Yes,
something else? If you try to be very balanced and very not taking any stand, they'll not like that people. They want people who are thinking out of box. Okay, you ultimately in the system, you may become someone who's not taking any stand because of the system you are going into. But even before going into system, if you are trying to be someone who is not taking any stand, they'll feel bad. Fine. See the third question. Okay, I think you have to close by 6:25. Okay, we'll close it. How does India see its place in economic space of rising natural resource rich Africa? Okay, so it's a geographical and political question. So take 2 minutes and then we'll come back.
Sir, we haven't checked the answer for this question.
Sorry?
We have not checked the answer for the second question, sir.
Right. So you have written, Shanta Prasad?
Yes, sir, but in hurry.
Not written, na?
Written, sir. Next file.
Next file is there. Only one file is visible. Okay, I'll see your third question. Fourth question, I think you have written Gondwala land, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have just followed a different pattern, but first try to mention the, before the features, before the benefits, try to mention the raw material places. Okay. That sequence is more appropriate in view of the demand of the question. Okay, you have taken stand for. Okay. Right. See the third question. How does India see its place in economic space of rising natural resource rich Africa? Okay. So how does India see its place in the economic space of rising natural resource rich Africa? So they are asking what are the economic interests and what are the resources available in the Africa and how India can use it for economic purposes, for its economic gain. How does India use it? So India's, simply if the question, if I could rephrase, India's economic interest in African resources. Resources means minerals. Okay. So what are the Africa's resources? Here we have to say, okay, you can, in the introduction, you can say, in the recent past, Africa has become one of the important continent of interest, as many natural resources have been discovered in African continent. Okay, so you can mention some of the resources. So in this question, what you'll do, you'll mention the resources and its economic impact or economic significance to India. So the first will be minerals. So what are the important minerals available in Africa? Diamond. Okay, diamond India can use, as India has some of the most sophisticated diamond polishing centers. Example, Surat. So India can, and where is this diamond available in Africa? In Johannesburg, South Africa. Okay, and then there are also reserves of gold, copper. Okay, and then all these are useful to India. These are the minerals. Okay, and then next is the oil resources. Okay, another mineral is uranium. Just now we have discussed uranium in Namibia. It can be helpful for fuel security. Okay, then oil. Where is the oil available? In Sudan, Nigeria, all these places, oil resources are there. It by tapping this, India can address its oil crunch. Okay, and then trade. So African countries like Egypt, South Africa, okay, all these can be helpful for trade relations between India and Africa. And also finally, the blue economy, as we call blue economy, because Africa is also surrounded by water and is significantly present in Indian Ocean area. The navigation can be mutually beneficial and can help in the sea trade. In the conclusion, you'll write that the head start for this aspect has been taken by China. The need of the hour is that India proactively engages in Africa. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
So Rajni, you have said you have not written. Shanta, you have written?
No, sir.
See the last question, just take 2 minutes because by 6:25, 6:26 we have to close. Despite India being one of the countries of Gondwana land, its mining industry contributes much less to its GDP in percentage. Discuss. Yeah. So Gondwana land, okay, they are saying India is having Gondwana land, okay, but the mining contribution is very less. What are the reasons? So we all know it because most of these are tribal areas. Okay, so introduction can be India is blessed with abundant mineral resources, especially in the Gondwana region, which is called Central India, and many resources like copper, gold, aluminium, iron ore, coal, etc., are available. Fine, right. So in the body, you will mention what are the reasons for low contribution of mining sector in India. What are the reasons? We know all of them. First is most of them are present in tribal habitat areas. So we know that tribals follow this system called nature man spirit, and hence these are sacred areas for tribals, and hence there is opposition in tapping this minerals. Okay, that is the first point. Second point is environmental concerns, environmental issues. What are the environmental issues? The pollution, the wastage, rivers being polluted, local areas, then groundwater, etc. Number 3 is displacement. Displacement of large number of people, rehabilitation, and then there is a challenge. Okay, and then administrative delays. Bureaucratic delays, red tape, no approvals, on time. Okay, and then unsafe ways of mining, very unsafe ways of mining, like recently also we have seen rat hole mining, etc., causing slow progress and endangering life. So need of the hour, you can give this angle, need of the hour or way forward. Okay, and formation of environmental committees for quick clearance, that is one part. Okay, and then development versus displacement balance to be achieved. Okay, and then safe and eco-friendly mining. In the conclusion, you'll write the mining sector has tremendous potential, but that for tapping that, the above mentioned lacunae need to be addressed, and eco-friendly mining shall be the way forward. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is good. You can draw the diagram and explain what are the various minerals available in India. I forgot to mention that, but yes, definitely India map. Whenever there is a question on resources, location of resources, always draw an India map. It will definitely benefit you. Good. India says 2% and Australia 7%. Good. It's a good comparison. Yeah, mostly forests, environmental clearance, foreign vested interest groups. This is a controversial point. Don't write this, Shanta Prasad.
Okay, sir.
This third point is not allowed. This is not proven, right? This is an NGO way. You don't talk like Modi government. Okay, you are an aspirant. So low
Okay.
technical development cost. Yes, technologically we are backward. That is good. And the types adopted, like rat hole mining, all these are extremely dangerous, right? So write about that. Yes, infrastructure is not there because of hilly areas. Good point. This also you can mention. This is a very good point. Lack of infrastructure to these remote areas. Good. You have written government actions, or you can write way forward also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Good. So yeah. So we'll meet again tomorrow at normal time. Okay. So Mahesh, this yeah, you can write disaster prone areas also. You can add this angle, like these mining areas are disaster prone areas, and hence generally if we go and mine too much also, it is a issue. Okay, fine. So we'll meet tomorrow at our normal time, that is 9 p.m. Okay. Yeah. Good. Bye.
Bye, sir.